I mean, you might as well teach this shovel to read. Go ahead, Zero, take it. It's all you'll ever be good for. D-I-G. What's that spell?
Dig.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Film Bros Podcast. My name is Isaiah Lucas, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Abraham?
And Nick.
How y'all doing tonight?
I'm good.
Doing good, man.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
What was it like going down memory lane with this movie, man? First off, I want to ask you guys, how old were you when this movie came out?
2003. What year and what time in 2003?
In 2003, I was 6.
I'm 3 or 4.
So we would have to have been, I did not watch it in 2003. Had to have been later on whenever I was like at least 10.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly the first time I had watched it, but it's like it's been around my entire life.
Or maybe I don't know if I exactly watched it when it came out in 2003, but I mean, when it came out, I was 6.
Jeez.
So how old were you guys when this movie
I was
came
3.
out? You were 3.
Yeah, it
imagine
came out-
us being 3 year olds going,
Going, dig it up, bum, bum, dig
It
it.
came out April 20th, 2003.
wow.
So I was 3.
Wow. So wait, it came out April?
April 20th.
So then I wasn't even 6, I was 5.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said what time of the month, what time of the year.
Okay.
So I was 3.
Yeah, this feels like it's been around my entire life, man.
I feel like I've known it all my life.
I can
Okay.
never escape this movie.
Okay.
It's weird. You were asking me, how you felt going down memory lane, and it's weird because I'm going through a whole transition right now
Yeah.
where I'm moving.
Yeah.
So I've had this crave to watch this movie, and I think it's subconsciously like this is constant. This is the constant
Comfort.
thing in my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the comfort thing. So I enjoyed watching it and going down memory lane and just remembering all the scenes that happened and just thinking about it new ways now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm ready to talk about all this kind of stuff though.
Okay.
I know it's weird because I watched it and I was like, hey, man, I know this movie. I like this movie. I've enjoyed this movie. But then coming at it with a critique, it's so much different because I think of like certain scenes that are just like, oh, that was cringy.
Or the CGI, I'm like,
Oh, dude, the stupid lizards.
Yeah.
The
And
lizards running.
Yeah. Looking like,
dude, it's like
you can tell the camera's just moving with nothing.
Yeah.
And then they just placed it.
afterwards they didn't even care about the shadow. The whole lizard is shimmering,
Yeah.
dude. It looks horrible. And I always blocked it out, man.
Yeah.
I thought this movie had like no flaws. Cuz I was like, this movie is perfect. It's great. It's the greatest movie of all time. It's Holes. You know what I mean? Everybody knows Holes.
Yeah.
But yeah, going into it with a critique perspective is definitely like, oh gosh.
Yeah. It's definitely hard too to like pick apart a movie that, you hold near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes I can think that it's fun.
Mhm.
Like I can watch a movie that like I know is bad, but to me, when I was a kid, I was like, dude, I love this movie.
Yeah.
And part of the allure for it, to me, was like, oh, this was one of my dad's favorite movies. And then when I watched it, I was like, okay, I like this because my dad liked it.
Mm.
And like I didn't really have any like, I guess you could say like skateboarding movies
Yeah.
growing up. So then when I watched it, like I would keep watching it and show my friends the movie and stuff and everything, and they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, this movie's sick." But like when I watched it, like maybe a year or two ago, I laugh at it, man, because I'm like, dude, I love this movie for what it is, but it's bad. Like it's so cringe.
So you
and
recently
very-
watched it before this?
I mean, maybe like a year or two ago. But like it's one of those movies I'm sure like you have with Holes where like you can like remember
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire movie, like
Oh,
almost
yeah.
even recite it maybe.
Oh yeah.
Like
We we constantly bring it up as one of our inside jokes. Like it's a thing that we constantly refer to.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it bad though.
No, and then that's the thing is like it's hard to my original point being that it's kind of fun to go back to movies and be like what, I thought that this was good, or like I did like this aspect of it or something like that. It's fun to kind of pick apart why you like something so much.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that in the nostalgia setting because Nostalgia is a
You
hell
kind
of
of
a
have
drug.
to you kind of have to put that aside to
Yeah.
dive into it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would ask you guys though, do you think that it held up over time?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like if you watch, I feel like this movie, you could still. I think teachers still use this actually.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they like read the book and then watch the movie, and that was like my first experience with this movie. Was
Yeah.
I read it in 4th grade and then I watched it.
Yeah.
No, 5th grade. Excuse me.
Well, one of the things I can say that I think really holds up with the movie, I think it partly plays off because it's based on a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that this movie has like pretty good writing.
I
Like,
agree. Yeah.
Like for a children's movie that came out in 2003,
Mm-hmm.
it has pretty solid writing, and like that's something that I would have never been able to notice or pick apart had I not really fallen in love with movies.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And watching this again and seeing how Zero and Caveman, whenever they're holding the chest at the end and they're not getting bitten by the yellow
Yeah.
spotted
Yeah.
lizards.
Yeah.
You're like,
oh, why not?
as a kid, you never even think about it. But then as
Yeah.
an adult, you're like, oh, well, why aren't they getting bitten? And it's like, oh,
And you have to recall back to
because
the
they were eating
beginning.
the onions.
Yeah.
And then even in the beginning of the movie, whenever we get introduced to Sam, he's like, oh man, the guy had a bad run-in with those lizards. If he had eaten some of this onion or
He had
or-
the snake or the lizard juice.
lizard
juice.
oil or
Yeah.
something like that
Yeah, yeah.
made from my sweet onions,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have that problem.
And they have all those establishing shots too when they're like they have the mound of onions and they
Mhm.
always have characters going, "Oh, what'd you eat? You smell bad."
Yeah.
So it kind of leaves us to our whole we have to kind of connect them on our own
yeah.
to get to
Yeah.
the where of course they're not going to get bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And having my love for cinema, like that's good writing.
Mhm.
It's great writing to like not spoon feed too much, Like I like how unsatisfying would it have been if they were like, oh, I just don't understand how they've been bitten yet. And then one of them is like, it's because we ate these onions and the onions like are repellent for the lizards.
It'd be like
There was a man long ago who like, and they just do all this exposition. It'd be like, come on,
Yeah, I'd be like,
you
come
know,
Like,
like,
it would have been so much more satisfying if I caught on to that first.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? And I think that the story is a lot more complex than I initially thought as a kid. I
Yeah.
kind of was just like, oh, it's these kids in Camp Green Lake. But it's got a lot to do with like generational stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
how one generation long ago affects literally two families and how they kind of slowly merge together and solve their curse and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's really unique in that way. And it also, for it being a Disney movie, I think it's pretty dark. There are some heavy things, especially with the intro, man. It's like people, are like willingly getting bit so they could die.
Yeah,
And it's, Patricia Arquette grabbing the lizard.
yeah,
It's pretty dark.
yeah, and also dealing with like some certain characters, like bringing up out of nowhere that like their mom is a drinker.
Yeah.
and like the
Yeah.
dad left and all this
I have a
stuff.
quote.
Yeah, but like there's certain parts of this movie where you're kind of like, man, I kind of forget that this is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was surprising to me.
Well, with that all being said, what movie are we talking about today, Nick?
So we're talking about the classic childhood movie Holes. It was directed by Andrew Davis and it was written by Louis Sakar, I think is his name.
Mhm.
And man, this movie's great. Came out in 2003, like we were saying. You want me to get into a synopsis before we start on our
Yeah.
favorite scenes?
Yeah.
So this movie is about a kid by the name of Stanley Yelnats. It's Shia LaBeouf, which is a classic, I think.
Mhm.
He gets falsely accused for a crime and gets sent to Camp Green Lake. Now, initially, Camp Green Lake sounds like a fantastic place. The judge makes it out to sound like that, but it is pretty much a desert zone.
Mhm.
And he is tasked with digging a hole every single day to build character. And we kind of go through him as he gets to the camp. He's learning his place. He's getting new nicknames. He's meeting all the other, I want to call them inmates, really. They seem like they're in prison. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
seem
got
like
the
it.
orange jumpsuits.
Yeah, they got everything that prisoners would wear. Like all the prison garb. They get the prison food. I think they kind of do
they
it.
get garbanzo beans, chili beans, green beans.
Yeah.
like,
And they
Beans.
plop it on their dish, and yeah, it's about him kind of finding his place, and also a little bit about some of the generational stuff that led him to not having any luck, to always losing in life,
yeah.
and kind of how he goes about and mends that.
Mm.
And I mean, I think if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if not, that's a pretty spoiler-free synopsis.
Yeah, you can essentially say that this movie is just it's the Shawshank Redemption for kids.
Seriously.
Basically. No, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of going through
Go-
500 feet of poop, you're just going up the mountain.
Yeah.
We're going up to see the thumb of God.
Yeah. So there you go. That's
All right.
it.
Well, this movie is streaming since it's a Disney film. It is streaming on Disney Plus. So if you do have Disney Plus, make sure to rewatch, or if you haven't even seen the movie, make sure to check it out. It's a good one. It's one of those movies too. I think it's like, I would almost say it's a family movie. You know, it's or it's a movie that you can watch like if you're very, precarious about what your children watch.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
some older children could probably watch this and be perfectly fine with it and understand it and everything.
Yeah.
So
It's wrapped up in a family movie.
yeah, and it's a fun watch. It's a fun one. So
For sure. Yeah.
let's dive into it, man. If you haven't seen this movie, or if you don't want to have anything spoiled, because we will get into spoiler territory, let's go ahead and pause it. If you don't want to go on, or if you do and you don't care, continue listening.
Continue on.
But other than that, let's go ahead and get into our first favorite scene.
Yeah, so my first one, I wanted to bring up the intro. Only
Yeah.
because this is kind of the darkness I was talking about. It starts off with, the campers digging holes, and all of a sudden this kid, his nickname is Barf Bag. He goes up and he sees the snake, and he takes off his boot, and he goes up, and he lets the snake get him. And that kind of is the opening to the film, and it's showing us, like, this place is terrible. They'd rather, die
Be
than
bitten by rattlesnakes.
than keep shoveling all their lives. You know what I mean? And it also is kind of the beginning of the mending of his generational like bad luck because Barf Bag had gone to the hospital is what they say. I'm pretty sure he's not going to make it, or he might.
He might, but he's just probably stuck in the hospital.
Yeah, but because they have
He
an
might get his leg
opening,
amputated.
because they have an opening, Stanley now has the opportunity to go to Camp Green Lake, to meet Zero, to go to the mountain, and to do all that stuff. But I enjoyed how they opened it. It kind of, you expect a family film, and then you're like, oh, wow, this is a lot heavier than I initially thought of. And I think it's a good way to start up building Camp Green Lake because all you see is a bunch of little kids dressed in prison garb and digging holes, and one tries to basically kill himself.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting way to start it up, and it was deeper than I initially gave it credit for.
Yeah. I like the beginning too, but I put it down because when I see the beginning, I immediately just think about the theme song, and I literally just the beginning is so nostalgic, it's goated. Because I feel like if you played that to anybody who knows movies in general, will be like, oh, that's holes. Because immediately you see all those holes and all those people, all those orange jumpsuits in the middle of nowhere, and I'm just like, bruh.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I believe this intro is just a bra moment for me, and that he's willingly
Getting bit.
willingly getting bit by
Yeah.
a rattlesnake, and this whole like opening shot like triggers my trypophobia
Because of all the
because
holes.
all the holes, man.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm all, oh, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta look away real quick.
And it looks like there's like 10,000 holes, man.
Yeah,
It's
Do
crazy.
you guys think you can dig a hole like that? 5 feet deep, 5 feet wide?
I think I could.
I don't know
mean-
how long do you think it'll take you?
I think it'd take me about 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, a couple hours maybe.
I've never dug a hole, man. Like I feel like it would take me all day, man.
You think so?
Yeah, just like realistically. I
No,
don't know.
I'm saying realistically, give me about 2 to 3 hours.
You're just going.
Give me my AirPods and I will go down.
Dang.
Get dusty.
Yeah.
I
Next
used
time
to-
I'm
I
doing
used to do
lawn work,
irrigation.
I'm calling you.
I think I can handle it.
That's
You
wild.
can wear my
Yeah.
boots.
But yeah. All right. What's your next favorite scene?
My next favorite scene is probably like 5-10 minutes in when Stanley is already at the camp,
Okay.
Camp Green Lake. I don't know if you got anything before.
My first favorite scenes are all the flashbacks of the town.
Okay, so that's after mine.
Yeah.
I like so the scene that I like is it's his first day. He just got done taking a shower, and we get introduced to this character named Mr. Sir, and he is a camp counselor.
I guess you could say
I
that.
guess. Yeah,
He's
I
kind
don't
of like the authority figure there.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like
He's
the
the one
sheriff.
that carries the gun.
He's
Yeah.
the security, whatever. But Stanley just got out of the shower, and all you see is, "Don't move."
Oh, this is one of my bro moments.
and
Thinks he's gonna
he
get
just
shot,
starts
dude.
shaking, drops all his clothes, and from what we see is like he's pointing the gun at him, but we don't know there's a
CGI lizard.
a CGI
Going.
a yellow spotted lizard on the wall of the showers, and he just goes boom, shoots him, and
Dude,
then
it's like 3 inches away from Stanley. I'm like, why are you shooting at a kid?
Well, this is the other thing too. Like, is it like a tracer bullet or something? Because it's like yellow.
You see the bullet come out?
yeah,
No, like
No,
it's like
when
it's
it
like
sh-
when it hits the gate.
it's
or
yellow.
It's like yellow. Like it almost looks like a paintball or something.
Oh.
Maybe that's what they use, so in case they hit someone.
And they just forgot to edit that part out? I don't know.
I have no idea.
But then I literally laughed because you see the lizard just go
Yeah.
and just jumps.
It goes.
It jumps on the 2 feet.
Dude, yeah, it starts
Yeah.
freaking running like
Yeah.
a human, and then finally Mr. Sir shoots the head off, and
Yeah, sharpshooter, man.
I
It
know.
jumps and he goes bink.
Yep.
Stanley just is shaking. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd probably shake too, but I just die laughing when the lizard just turns his neck and just starts chasing him.
I die laughing whenever we see Mr. Sir walking around after.
Yeah,
he's,
Yeah.
he's like, ching, ching.
he's all walking around with bow-legged.
And then all you hear is,
looking around.
bah, bah. Like,
Just shoot.
who
Just
gave this
shoot.
Who
guy
are
a
you shooting
gun?
at?
Yeah, he's
It-
the last person that needs a gun. That's
Seriously.
why he's on probation, man.
Dude, seriously.
Dude, it reminds me of the first time I shot a pistol. Because I just went.
Like you, oh my gosh, I imagine you shooting the gun and it just flying out of your hand. Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, that's my second favorite scene.
Okay. You said yours were later on?
Yeah, so my first favorite scene is, well, I kind of lump them all together as like the flashbacks
Okay.
of the town at Camp Green Lake, just because I love the whole like idea of there being a town there and then now it being desolate because of this whole curse.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, demons coming up, man. But
Reminds me of that TikTok.
but I love that the whole world building and getting introduced to Sam
Yeah.
and Mary
can fix
Lou.
that.
This
and all
is
these
one
guys.
of the
And it's like you go through this whole town and it's popping. There's like general stores and looks like saloons and stuff. And then Sam's got his donkey and his cart like selling onions and onion jam,
Miracle cures,
salves,
yeah.
lotions, poisons,
Everything.
like everything, tonics, all that stuff. And that's where we get introduced to his character as well as Miss Catherine.
Mm.
And we see that Miss Catherine's a school teacher. She goes out and, they barter with one another. He gives her onions for spiced peaches.
Mhm.
And we kind of see that there's like a connection between the two.
Oh yeah, they're
yeah.
they're looking at each other a little differently.
Yeah. And we also see that like Sam is kind of like a man of the people,
Mhm.
right? Like people come up and they're, he sees the guy with the bald head and he's like, hey, listen, if you put this on his head, rub it on there 3 times a day, his head will look just like his beard. And
Mhm.
all that
Or
stuff.
it'll look like Mary Lou's mane.
Yeah, there you go.
The horse.
Yeah. And it's just a super nice call. Like I guess you can't even really say a callback. It's just like a reminiscence on what the town used to be before before that dirty, no good, rotten, pig stealing great great grandfather.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's funny. It almost doesn't relate to that. It only relates to that because this whole setup of Catherine as she becomes Kissing Kate Barlow, she robs one of the Yelnats.
mm-hmm.
So that's the reason we have all this setup is because this is the start of Kissing Kate Barlow
Mhm.
and how she kind of folds into the legacy of the Yelnats. But I like this scene a lot too because they set up a lot of that whole stuff that they refer back to, which
Mhm.
whether it be the onions and the peaches, and that's a recurring motif throughout the whole film. When they
Yes.
get up there and the sploosh and the feet smell cure and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of that has to do with this scene right here, where he's like, yeah, I built my own rowboat. I go to my orchards every day. I pick all of them up, and that's how the peaches come in. And I just liked it. I love seeing their relationship start building. And we
Yeah.
know that it's old. They're in the old times, so we know that it's almost like it's not okay,
Yeah.
which
It's
sucks.
socially at the time is
Yeah.
not. It's very much looked down upon.
I think it's
for-
even illegal.
Yeah, for a white woman to associate with a black man.
Yeah, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why she kind of goes on her vengeance rampage and becomes what she becomes.
Yeah.
But I just think this part's pretty important to the movie.
Yeah. But then I kind of lump in like all the other flashbacks where like the whole I can fix that
Oh yeah.
sequence. I mean, it's become sort of a meme in him, if someone comes to you and says, I can fix that.
you
you're
know,
like,
you
oh,
know,
you know that.
You know.
Yeah.
I was talking to a coworker today because he was asking me if I had any plans after work, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta watch a movie and I'm gonna record. And he goes, oh, what movie you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm doing Holes. And he goes, oh, I can fix that.
Yeah.
And
everybody knows.
and he's at the check stand, and a customer was like, oh, Holes. And I was like
Yeah.
easily you say I can fix that,
Yeah. But I also love Sam laying game on Miss Catherine.
bro. When he comes up to her,
No, when I'm talking about whenever she's doing poetry with
yeah,
the kid.
Annabelle Eve poem.
Yeah, and
yeah.
he starts to finish it, and afterwards she's like, Sam, and then she's like, that door doesn't hang straight. And he's all, I can fix that.
He does it like several times. He walks in and the roof is leaking. And he
Yeah.
goes, I could fix
the
that.
best one that he does is
wwhenever
when
she's
he's crying,
crying.
Yeah.
reading
And he
the
says,
poem.
I can fix that.
Gives her
And gives her a
smooch.
big
And then,
old
dude,
kiss.
I just love how you see the teardrops, and you just see him reach for her hand.
And immediately you're
Yeah.
like, yes, let's go.
That's
Yeah.
a moment where I was like, let's go, like finally.
Yeah.
Because
And
we
then,
see that there's people who are trying to get,
try to get at Miss
Get at
Catherine.
Miss
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Catherine.
yeah.
and she's like,
Homie,
nah,
what's
dude.
his name's Trout Walker.
Yeah, my
Fish
daddy owns the lake.
Yeah.
Freaking
Yeah,
the gold
The
tooth.
duck may swim on the lake,
But my daddy owns the lake.
I laugh every time I hear that quote, dude. It's so ridiculous how
I
he
don't-
says it.
Yeah, I don't understand why he tries to like act dumb, because then afterwards he's like, "Hey, I would like to join you for a picnic," and it's like he sounds all dignified
Yeah.
and all this stuff. So I don't understand why he tried to play dumb.
He's just trying to hype up being in the school setting. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
like, oh, look at me, I can make people laugh.
Yeah,
He's got the whole squad laughing. You know what I mean?
He's a classical hound.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of plays into the last flashback about that town is she
Yeah.
rejects homie,
This is one of my
and
favorites.
then whenever they
This is a big bro moment for me.
whenever Sam and Catherine kiss, Trout sees that, and they start going into this racist tirade and start saying that there's going to be a hanging and
Yeah.
all this crap.
Well, that's when she goes and talks to the sheriff of the town.
Yeah,
And he's
because
drunk.
they're burning down the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
I said, dude, so this is one of my bro moments, and I said, imagine being so upset and petty, seeing a girl kiss someone other than you that you go burn the only school in the city.
It was
Yeah.
the nicest school in all of Texas, she said.
Yeah.
Well, because Sam fixed it.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's just
Sam's the goat.
and to see that freaking sheriff, that made me so upset too. Just
Yeah.
being drunk and like trying
Hey,
to
give
force
me a
himself
kiss.
on her. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
and he's like, you gave a kiss to Sam over there, that onion picker.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where her whole, if she kills you, she's
Yeah.
going to kiss you.
Vendetta.
Yeah, that's
which
kind
I
of
love when she comes back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
I love her avenging her
Hey,
man. It's
Sheriff.
so sad seeing Sam be so defenseless in his rowboat
Dude,
while
oh.
the motorboat is just chugging, and then they
Yeah.
straight up, bow.
And I hate how you hear, like I like it, but I hate it when you hear her go, Sam.
Oh, dude.
And her
Yeah.
voice is like cracking.
Yeah,
I was just like, bro, he didn't do anything to deserve that.
not at all.
Not at all.
But then she comes back and avenges him,
Kissing
And
Kate Barlow.
kisses the sheriff, or kills
Kills
the
the
sheriff,
sheriff.
then kisses him.
Mhm.
You still want that kiss?
Yeah,
Bah!
yeah,
Again, it's death in the Disney film. It's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
yeah. But I'll save my other favorite scenes for later in the film. So.
Okay. So my next favorite film is
Your film.
favorite film. I could talk about a whole different movie. Next favorite scene is so we didn't really talk about it, but Stanley gets there and he gets introduced to all the kids that are there. There's Zigzag, there's X-Ray, there's
Armpit.
Armpit, and there's there's
Magnet.
Squid and Magnet. Yeah, but one of them is Zero,
Mm.
and Zero is this kid who does not talk at all. Everybody pretty much rags on him because they think he's so dumb he can't talk, and especially who rags on him is this guy Dr. Pendinsky.
Yeah. The
he-
campers call him Mom.
Yeah, call him mom. He's basically like the counselor,
Yeah.
and he sits them all down and basically tells them, you know, you guys are wasting your one life you have left, and you can't, you know, you're gonna go back into society, and you got to do good and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when he comes to Zero, he always talks down on him. He always says,
Yeah. I have no,
you know,
no idea why.
no idea. He goes, CAT, what does that spell? And Zero obviously doesn't say anything. And he goes, see, you're stupid. You're an idiot. And he just,
Even
He's so
introdu-
stupid.
Even
He don't
introduce him.
even know he's stupid.
seriously.
Even introduce him. He goes, you know why we call him Zero? And grabs his head and
And he
says,
goes,
because there ain't zero in this brain. And I was just like, dude,
So there's nothing going on in his stupid little head.
He's such,
It's all.
he's so mean to him.
yeah, it's sad because we get to see Zero's backstory and all that, but you know he gets to have a friendship with Caveman. It's Stanley, and as you know he's teaching him how to read. He's doing all this stuff, becoming really good friends with Zero, and we get to actually hear Zero talk, and it's almost like everyone's like, what the heck? You can get him to talk.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? It's almost like legend at this moment, right? But what my favorite scene is when it's kind of towards the middle of the film. Dr. Pendinsky, everyone's going crazy, and he's talking down to Zero again, and he goes, DIG, what does that spell? And Zero's just he has a shovel, he's waiting, he's thinking, and then he goes, whop, gets him right in his face, and he goes, dig, and just runs,
Yeah.
dude. Oh,
I
Bro,
love it.
you passed Hacka.
did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got whenever the warden slaps Mr.
Oh, I
Sawyer.
got
Oh.
more. I got more.
I put a bunch in bruh moments.
Okay, that's
But-
why.
Okay,
I have
that,
three.
that is a fire scene.
I have
love
two
that
before
scene.
that.
okay,
Yeah.
go for
So I put scenes that made me actually laugh out loud.
Okay.
Which was my next one was
it. Go.
when Armpit dances and lifts his armpits up,
Oh yeah.
and I laugh because they're having a good old time, and you see when they're finally starting to accept Caveman. They're finally just accepting him, he's part of the group. We can't do anything, and Caveman's dancing, Armpit's dancing, and finally Armpit just goes, "Vroom." And this obviously we don't know what it is, but the stench from him just flabbergasted everybody, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
The crazy thing, they think showering is a privilege over there, man. They give them tokens to
That's a-
shower
For prepubescent boys or boys that are currently going through puberty.
and straight up shoveling all day.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's a necessity.
that's a necessity,
That's
man.
not a-
Okay,
That's
yeah,
not a
but
priority,
how
man.
about water? You're gonna be thirsty for the next 18 months.
Yeah, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true. It's pretty much like a prison.
Yeah.
That is prison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That made me laugh.
for sure.
And
So-
then
You good?
finding the gun shell,
Oh, okay. The
Well, it's not a
the-
gun. Yeah,
it's the lipstick.
Yeah.
lipstick.
tube of lipstick.
First off, I know you want to rag on X-Ray. I know
I
you
hate
do.
X-ray, dude. I almost cussed. I hate X-ray, dude.
This guy, after
He's-
before we even started recording, he was like, "Dude, X-Ray sucks."
No, he's probably the worst character of them all. And I don't
says,
care.
You find anything, you give it to me, you understand?
No, and then dude, he accidentally gets his shovel. It's his first day shoveling. Oh, dude, I just want to smack the heck out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all smaller shovel, smaller hole.
Like he's like the head honcho.
Yeah, he's like the ringleader.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I hate him. I don't care. There's no, and I specifically think of the end. I hate jumping to the end, but he's like all buddies with Caveman.
Yeah,
Bro,
all at the end,
no.
he's all, you be safe out there, you hear?
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
gonna see you soon. I'm gonna see you soon.
it's like
Yeah.
you didn't really
Shut up,
earn
dude.
that, you know.
No.
You kind of were a jack the whole time.
No, he was. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves to dig holes for the rest of his life.
Yeah, no, but they find that what they think is a bullet
A
shell,
bullet.
and they call the warden out, and that starts a whole
Mm.
like a dig operation.
Yeah, dude, she makes him excavate. the
Excavate,
whole-
dude. They're,
like
they're
the-
digging archways.
How the heck
Yeah.
are those archways still up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That dirt's got to be dry as heck, so it's gonna crumble.
I don't
Yeah.
know. The funny thing about it too, I didn't ever think about it, but this is like another part of the prophecy kind of mending itself. Because if X-Ray didn't take that bullet from him and they left it in the hole where he originally found it, then they would have easily found the treasure right there because that's where it was.
Yep.
But the fact that it's all kind of falling into place at this moment where they started excavating, but they're way far away from the hole, so of course they're not going to find it, leading all up to when Stanley comes and it's his rightful treasure,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed a lot. But it leads into your scene where the whole seed operation.
love it.
and
So Stanley at this point, he Stanley doesn't even steal it.
he
Magnet
does it. Yeah, that's the
He
whole
says,
thing.
"My hands are like magnets. What can I say?"
I love the little. He says some Spanish things, like once in a while, and there's one that I specifically think of, and he asked for 2 sandwich, and all you hear in the background is "Nunca me queden dar dos," and I started dying laughing.
Dude, I laughed so hard whenever he laughs at that counseling session.
Oh, and he's talking
when
about the dogs?
He's like, "Oh yeah, I would have gotten away with it. My pocket didn't start barking." And
Yeah.
everyone starts laughing. He's all, I was dying.
Why didn't I
laughing.
notice that?
I was
man?
dying
it's
laughing
so
at the way
funny.
he's, dude. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But he eventually steals this bag of seeds that Mr. Sir relies on to try to quit smoking, and we see like he kind of looks at it, and then Mr. Sir drives off, and he's like, "Hey, anybody want some sunflower seeds?" And they'll start taking handfuls and stuff. And I feel bad for Stanley, man,
Dude, that
because
was a
they're
bad
like
toss.
Straight
yeah,
up.
it was
Yeah.
a horrible toss. And they're like, "Oh, here you go. Hey, caveman, catch it." And they straight up like throw it, and the bag just like tilts
Open- yeah.
down and just all spills out. And they're like, "Oh man, Butterfingers."
I know.
It's like, it was a bad throw. What do you mean, Butterfingers? I
Yeah.
couldn't catch that.
Yeah.
But feel bad for Stanley because he tries to cover it all up and
Ah,
lay on
dude.
it real quick. But then he ends up getting sent to the warden, and he goes into the warden's house, and because of what they found with the golden tube, she immediately thinks,
Oh,
we
they
found
found
something
something
even
else."
more.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. I want to come in. And Mr.
Close the
Sir,
door. You're gonna let the cold out.
Mr. Sir's
Yeah,
first
he's a
off,
dummy,
he's so
man.
stupid.
This scene is so satisfying.
It
yeah,
is,
he's
yeah.
he's a dummy, man, because he's like, "Go ahead and tell her what you did," and she's all, "Well," or caveman is all, "Well, while I was digging, I stole Mr.
yeah,
Sir's sunflower
he's
seeds."
fronting, which is wholesome.
Yeah, and he says that he stole the seeds, and she's like, "Oh, will you go get me that brass case thing over there?"
Mhm.
So Stanley goes over there and picks it up, and it's full of like nail polish, and the warden, I forget her name. Like what is her?
I think they just call her the warden,
warden.
don't they? Oh, they say Lou at some point.
Okay,
Like, get Lou on the phone.
okay.
That I might be wrong on that. Let me check.
No,
but-
literally, I'm on IMDb. It just says the warden.
Okay.
okay.
All right. So they, Stanley brings it back to the warden, who's played by Sigourney
Warden
Weaver.
Walker.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. And she starts painting her nails, and she's like, I have a special ingredient for this nail polish. It's a rattlesnake venom. I just love what it does to the color. It's harmless when it's dry.
And she's like putting her freaking.
yeah, and
I
like
thought-
at
It's
the,
so
at the-
sketchy.
yeah, at the
Oh.
time you're like, oh man, like you're afraid for Stanley. You're thinking like, oh, she's gonna like hit him or something, or like hurt him with this venom, and he's
Put
freaking out
those
too. Like
finger
he's
up-
like, oh,
Put
dude, I
those
don't know
fingers
what
up
to
his
do.
nose or something.
Yeah, and then she like is doing this or something like that, and I think Mr. Sir says something, right? And then she straight up goes, "What?"
Yeah,
And
she
smacks the crap out of him, and I laugh because whenever he falls down, he goes, "Oh, oh, oh!"
Yeah, and his feet go.
yeah, and he straight up holds his cheek, and he goes,
Dude, it's.
it starts just tapping his feet so
Yeah.
hard, and I die every time he starts tapping his feet.
Yeah.
I've been in that kind of pain.
I have
Where,
too. Though.
like,
You
I
just
can
where
where
all
you
you
just,
gotta do is
all you
just-
have to do is just either run, you start running, or you just start just tapping.
I
doing
think
all
my
that
go-to
stuff.
is the run. I got yeah.
Like I grew up skateboarding, so like getting credit carded or like popsicled.
Yep.
Like my immediate reaction is like, oh, I gotta run this off, dude. like,
You gotta have to like waddle.
yeah.
like
after-
today, a customer hit my knee, and I immediately just left my stand and just started walking around
Yeah.
in that little area. And there's a coworker. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Dude, I got hit in my knee."
distract yourself a little bit. His
I get
is
you.
Just
It's just
he's doing flamenco dancing, dude.
Serious.
Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
playing El Sonadito in his head.
But yeah, and then my next one after that would be whenever Zero slaps Mr. Pendinsky.
Yeah,
with
you
the-
Right,
skipped
with
a
the
lot.
shovel,
I
man.
did. I kind of forgot all that, man.
Yeah, I love whenever he smacks him. Man.
It's
No,
satisfying.
It's satisfying, but it's also like, man,
He goes-
Pendinsky didn't deserve it, but did.
He did deserve
He
it.
did deserve that.
He's a
man.
freaking-
He treats everyone else fine, but whenever it comes to Zero, he just has this unspoken
Hatred.
like hatred.
Yeah,
to
like
him.
he would shove his canteen on him for no reason. Zero literally
get-
doesn't even
yeah.
talk.
You got a point. My next favorite scene though is right after that. It's when Stanley crashes the truck. And
We get introduced to
See,
Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah.
And
He goes, I see a car. I start twitching.
You think I'm okay now? wait till I get in that car. And it's so like
No,
kind
and
of
I hate-
overacted.
I didn't like Twitch.
I don't
I
like
didn't like him
Twitch.
either. I think he's cringe.
He is
Yeah.
a little cringe. It's in the fact that he's
He goes-
filling the hole of Zero.
Yeah.
Which in Zero's like an iconic character.
Yeah.
There's no way you can film.
Yeah, it
And then
feels
look,
weird.
this is another thing to draw the Shawshank conclusion. The Twitch being that character in
the
Shawshank.
guy who gets
yeah, that gets shot.
Yeah.
And he also he's right there in the poster above Briggs.
Right
Yep,
there.
that guy.
right
Man,
there.
R.I.P. Briggs.
Yeah, man.
Aw.
But
Sorry, I had to
Different
do it.
movie.
I
yeah.
had to do it.
Yeah.
I just hate it because Twitch knows everything about cars and everything about. And you see him and
Put it in gear.
no, yeah, he goes start it, put it in gear,
Yeah, yeah.
and dude, and all you hear is Stanley go,
Yeah. I was dying laughing whenever he starts screaming
Mhm.
because it's just like it's so like prepubescent
yeah,
like boy scream where like it's still really high pitched and I was dying whenever he starts.
the best part
peeling
honestly
off.
when he crashes. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
It kind of hurts my heart though, because I was like, because Zero has been out there for a while
For a
with
day.
pretty much no water.
Yeah.
So it's like you could have driven the truck to him and given all that water, and you just drove it into a hole, man. You drove
Yeah.
it straight into a hole, and
Yeah.
all the water flies out. And I'm like, oh.
When Mr. Sir falls in that hole too,
Yeah, true.
bro, all you hear is
Yeah.
He's getting like dragged while he's holding onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My truck.
His knees are messed up, dude. He's just getting dragged on the dirt.
ragdoll. You see,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I want to correct the record. It was not Briggs, it's Brooks.
Brooks.
And I feel so bad for
disrespect.
Disrespecting Brooks.
yeah, for disrespecting my man.
My
Brooks was here, man.
Yeah. But
R.I.P.
so after Stanley crashes the truck, he runs, starts booking it out into the desert, and then Mr. Sir's like, "Go on, There's not gonna be no Stanley the Fifth."
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, because he's Stanley the Fourth. We
Yeah.
didn't say that.
Yeah.
But you
That
guys
leads-
have any other?
That was a smart remark, though.
Yeah.
That
It
was like funny.
Yeah. This leads also to one of my scenes. It's a smaller favorite scene, but it's, he's getting out there. It doesn't really tell us how much time has passed, but he gets to this overturned boat, and immediately you see it says Mary Lou on it, and you're like, oh, this is Sam's boat.
Yeah.
It's been here all this time. All the lake is dried up.
Mhm.
It's crazy to see that. And then you see he walks up and he sees just Zero's feet,
Yeah.
and immediately you're like, oh, bro, he's like dead or passed out or something. And he goes, Zero?
Yeah. You see homie breathing.
Do you?
You can see his stomach going,
But his feet aren't moving.
but his feet aren't.
And he doesn't react right away.
Yeah.
So it's just like, is he dead?
Yeah. And then his feet move. He comes out and he's like, "Stanley,
Yeah.
what are you doing here?" And they go in. That's when we get introduced to what sploosh is,
Yeah. And
which is
it's
Miss Catherine's
spiced peaches.
spiced
That are
peaches.
rotten as heck.
They're not. They're preserved, it looked like.
They had to be.
They're not just, because
'Cause
that,
they're sealed in the jar.
they're preserved.
You don't think they're gonna
Rot.
rot?
In
No,
the-
they
in the
don't. They
sun.
wouldn't drink it and go, this is good. No.
My immediate thought was like, bro, they're drinking rotten peaches and
No,
all
no,
this
that
stuff.
has. Dude,
My immediate thought,
Do you
let
see
me
the-
get some of that. I want to try some.
No, do you see the cut? Dude, that's like
It's so
tar.
black. Yeah.
That's what I'm
all
saying.
brown.
It has. There's no way.
I hate it too because he
I
goes,
hate that you go, because it reminds me of lung.
yeah, I wanted to. I seriously, the whole time I wanted to try it. I seriously
I mean,
wanted
yeah,
to
I
try
wanted to try it too, but there's no way that it's that good.
it. I don't know. They make it
used
seem
to-
like it's the best thing ever.
I used to think the same thing when I was a little kid. I used to love Teletubbies, and they always did Tubby custard on
Ooh.
Teletubbies.
Out of
And-
context, that sounds.
I don't care. Hey, you want some,
They used to,
hey, you want some Tubby custard?
dude. So it was like this like pink custard that they would eat on the show. And as a kid, I was always like, dude, I want to try that. That sounds so good. but it looks like just straight up like pink soft serve.
Yeah.
I've never. I hated Teletubbies.
Bro, I
Especially 'cause
loved Teletubbies.
that
when I was
baby
a kid.
sun scared the crap out of me.
I
No,
loved Teletubbies.
I would cry. I would see the sun and cry.
Do you remember when they did a whole Teletubbies like remix and they looked different?
No.
No,
Or is that maybe a different show?
Barney.
No. Because the Teletubbies had that iconic look, and then there's like I remember seeing Teletubbies
Wait.
that are like round.
Wait,
I don't
no,
know.
yes, because they had shapes.
Yeah.
On their antennas?
my favorite was Dipsy. He was the green one. He just had straight up just a line.
Little antenna. Dude, I'm gonna freak now if I don't know.
Yeah. There was Tinky Winky,
Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky, Lala, Dipsy, and Poe. And I remember, dude, in the theme song, like they'd be like
Tinky
Teletubbies,
Winky.
Teletubbies, and then go Dipsy, Lala, Poe. like I always felt like, man, they hate Poe, dude.
Yeah,
like they
that's-
say it so unenthusiastically.
Gosh, I'm looking at the picture of the Teletubbies, and they're terrifying. These things, like my sleep paralysis. I wake up and I
Oh.
see a Teletubby at the corner.
Have you ever seen like
Have you seen the meme?
there's like deep fried ones where
Yeah.
they're like my sleep paralysis demon or
Oh,
something.
it's in
like
the corner?
Literally that.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like
could see
them
that.
like all creepypasta looking. But
Their eyes are all red and just.
Yeah.
yeah.
All that to say, I would love to try Sploosh.
I would
Yeah.
too, but you got to think about it. That stuff is black.
Yeah, and it's all dirty on the outside,
Dude, that's
and the way he opens it,
That's 4 generations old.
Yeah.
it's pretty freaking old.
That's
And
what
dude,
I'm saying.
How
There's
did
no,
he cut his lip?
what do you
That
mean?
broken glass, man. He straight up was
Oh.
drinking out the broken glass.
True, yeah.
There's
He's about
glass
to get-
in it,
He's
dude.
about to get tetanus.
No, it kind of breaks off like perfectly. Like it's like a prop almost, where it
Yeah.
just almost looks like it's barely on there.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes me laugh in this scene too, where he goes, "Oh, here, try it," and then you just hear the, and I'm like, dude, we don't have to hear this. You know what I mean? Like he's slurping on it. I don't want to hear all
you
that.
know they put the mic up like.
Yeah, they're like. Yeah, I was dying. That was I just wanted to bring that up because it was this. I always wanted to try it.
Okay.
So
All right.
My
You got
next favorite scene is when. So it's literally probably 5-10 minutes after that they are coming down the Lord's God's thumb.
oh, not
And-
the going up part.
No,
My
Bro.
favorite part's the going up part.
give up.
Never
give up.
Yeah, you don't like that?
no, especially when he acts like he's gonna fall down.
It's obviously green screen.
Dude,
Oh, it's terrible.
Dude, it's so
It's
bad looking.
so
You can
bad.
see the whole set, like
Yeah.
the rock that they're on, and then it's all green screened out at the bottom.
Tell me, I love the way they frame it only because it looks, they're seriously like free climbing.
Free climbing.
90 degrees. And they're like, yeah, this is a great idea.
Yeah. Let's
Like-
go all the way to the top.
I'm like, dude, you got to go up and you got to come down.
Yeah.
If it's hard for you to get up, imagine how much more difficult it is
It's
to
gonna
get
need to go
down.
down.
Well,
It's going
my
to be
fa-
worse.
my favorite part is when they're down and they start digging this hole again. They're like, I feel lucky, one more shot. And it's a small scene, but I love it. The warden and Mr. Sir comes out and they're like, well, thank you. Like, you did this for me. And Mr. Pendensky comes out and then you see in the background what kind of car would you say?
I think a Cadillac.
No, not like, would you say a police car or like?
no, it's
Oh,
just,
the Jaguars and
No,
all that
the,
stuff.
Yeah, in front of it. Though you see the two cars. One of them is
oh, you're at like the end, bro.
close to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like after they find the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have any other things before that? Favorite
I got
scenes?
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Oh, yeah, that's at that time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
go ahead.
around
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time. And so you see these two cars and Mom and I said Mom. They tell Mr. Pendensky, go to keep them shut. Like tell the kids, and you just see him fall in a hole.
Yeah.
And that's
And the noise he makes,
He
dude.
goes, oh.
It's
and
funny
I laughed at it. So.
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, you had before.
I did-
Whenever they're going up the hill.
Yeah,
Or
I
going
just.
up
you
God's
actually
thumb.
like that?
Well, okay, that scene is.
Yeah,
it-
I mean, he's completing the circle.
He's
He's
Oh,
carrying.
It's so satisfying.
He's
He's
carrying
carrying
Zeroni
Zeroni.
up the hill.
yeah, because he passes out. He throws that, passes out, falls down, and he goes, "All right, we can't stay here." He puts him on, and all of a sudden you hear the music come in, and you know it's like the it goes, if only, and you're like, yeah. And they get to the top, and you see this oasis, and it's full of greenery.
Hot Sundays.
And he goes, bugs. If there's bugs, that means. And then you see all the water and all that, and it's just cool because it's completing the cycle, just like you said, Isaiah. He's bringing him up there. He's bringing his Zeroni to drink the water and to be strong, just like the prophecy said.
Yes.
And everything starts to go right at this moment. They have all the water, all the food that they could eat, and they're living in Oasis.
Yeah, and then even so, you had mentioned it. Stanley says, like, I want to go back. Let's dig one more hole. I feel lucky. And then even then, while he's feeling that, his parents, Stanley's parents, are having success with the foot odor thing. And that's when we start to see, like, all these guys' luck are changing because Stanley completed the cycle. He carried a Zeroni up the mountain. And we them strong and stuff.
Yeah, and we get the reveal that it was Zero. Hector was the one that threw the shoes off the railing and it's landed on him. So it really is like a self-fulfilling prophecy at that moment.
Yeah.
Because, we knew it the whole time, and Zero kind of gave some indication. He's like, that's the first time he really ever talks. He goes, they have the red X's on them, right? Yeah. So it's like he's connected somehow, and we finally get the realization that it was Zero who had thrown them. Yeah. And then Stanley goes, this is destiny. I'm glad you threw the shoes on me. Yeah. We're not even at Camp Green Lake right now. We're here. Yeah. On God's thumb. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was a satisfying way to end that whole entire generation arc. Yeah. Which I loved.
Yeah. It's a very satisfying tie up, and then it gets even more satisfying whenever the film goes on to the end. But they eventually go back. They start digging with that boulder that looks like Madame Zeroni, and they get around. They end up getting that case. That's that big old chest that we found out Kiss and Kate Barlow had stolen from Stanley Yelnats the first, right? Or no, Stanley Yelnats the first, because the great was Elia
Yelnats. Yeah. And then Stanley. It goes on.
Yeah. But eventually, they come out of the hole. They're holding it, and then they go back to Camp Green Lake. We find out that there's no record for Zero because it was shredded or set on fire or something like that.
They said he was a ward.
He was a ward of the state.
Ward of the state, so there was no file on him.
Well, there was,
but very minimal.
There was a record at Camp Green Lake of who Zero was and all that stuff. But when he ran away, they burned it. Yeah, they burned it. They didn't want to have to, say, oh yeah, some kid ran
he was here, but he ran away.
Yeah, they didn't want to have to deal with all that, so they thought, okay, he'll just die and everyone will forget about him.
Yeah.
So that was one of the reasons why they were like, oh, he has no record, he can come with us.
Yeah, they have that whole conversation in the tent. And then that's when Caveman comes up, and Mr. Pendenski.
I care about him.
Yeah, Mr. Pendenski is all, no one cares about Hector Zeroni. And then Stanley comes up and says, I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's very wholesome.
Yeah. Yes. But any other favorite scenes for you guys?
I guess the whole, I'm kind of chalking up the whole ending scene with it starting to rain. Yeah. And it's the first time Camp Green Lake has gotten rain since Sam had passed. Mm. And everyone's like, it starts to thunder. It's almost like kind of like magic. Yeah. Where finally thunderstorms come in and it pours like crazy. Yeah. And all the kids are like, what? And they go out and they get to finally enjoy this precious resource, They get to cool off and all that stuff. And then it gets to the ending scene, which do you like the ending or what?
Yeah. I like the ending. I enjoyed the ending too, and him Zero essentially being in the beginning, whenever he says, like, if I had all this money, I would hire a team of private investigators to find my mom.
I almost tear up at that scene.
Yeah.
When she comes out of the bus.
When she comes out of the bus and they run at each other, I'm just like, bruh, that's so wholesome. Mm-hmm. And the person, which I believe it's Stanley Yelnats the second, who's talking at this moment, which is the grandfather. He says, like, it turns out that his mother's been looking for him all this time, too. And I was just like, damn, see? Forget you, Mr. Pendenski. People do care about Zero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And there was no facts about it, but they open the chest and you see tons of jewelry, gold bars.
Stocks.
Yeah, they pull out the AT&T stocks and it said 25,000.
Yeah.
But that was in 1906 or whatever, and
Yeah.
he goes, it must be millions now.
I wonder
Which
how much it is now.
I don't know. But then he
Yeah.
goes, one for us,
One for Mr. Zeroni.
one for us. Yeah, he basically passing out millions of dollars,
Yeah.
which I loved because Zero had literally no money
Nothing.
growing up, sleeping in under
In the tunnel at
Yeah.
the park.
in the tunnels, literally homeless.
Yeah.
So to see him finally reconnect and get that luck
Yeah.
that he'd been missing all his life
It's awesome.
was wholesome. And it just leads to the very end, which is kind of like a Disney ending.
Yeah, where they're all at a house party or they're all having a summer-
multi-million-dollar home.
Yeah, and they're all swimming in the backyard and they're grilling and then you see the sploosh commercial,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah, and Sweet Feet, of course, is the spokesperson, so it's all come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
A very Disney ending.
I thought it was pretty interesting too. The entire time throughout the film, Mr. Sir refers to Camp Green Lake as like not a Girl Scouts camp,
Mm-hmm.
and it's funny at the end they say
it turns
that-
into
they say that it becomes a girls only camp at the end.
Mhm.
Whenever Mr. Sir the whole time is like, this isn't it. And
yeah,
then
he's trying to put this whole manly front. Not even Mr. Sir's not even his name. It's
Marion.
yeah, Marion. And they even go, well, that's not a guy's
Yeah,
name.
he
And
said, I didn't know Marion's a man's name.
goes-
He's all, it's not.
it ain't.
They're all, oh, after.
So I just looked it up. 25,000 in 1905, which was when it was in. And so I just did it to 2003 when the movie came out. It would have been worth one stock would have been worth $522,000.
So
They had-
$500,000.
Half a
They had
million.
4 of them, so they each got $1 million right there.
Yeah.
Plus all the gold bars.
Yeah. So they're rolling the dough.
Oh yeah, they're rolling. It was such a nice, very ending callback because they finally have their feet stuff is working through, and of course the guy they stole the shoes from is now promoting their brand.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys caught it, but the company that the sploosh is under
KB
is
Industries.
KB Industries,
Yeah.
Kate Barlow Industries,
Yeah.
which I think it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. We glanced over I'm tired of digging, Grandpa.
Oh, we did, yeah.
But that's
You gotta
one
say
of my
so how does it go? I forgot.
that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah,
Man. It's
seriously.
hilarious.
Because we say it.
That
We
grandpa,
say it all the
dude, that,
time.
I say
that
it
grandpa's a menace for no reason.
Dude, he's
He looks
old.
rough.
He's old, dude.
He's got like
Dude, his
3
hat-
hairs.
Dude, his hat,
three white hairs.
it's all holes and stuff.
Still has that gold tooth
Yeah.
though.
And she's Sigourney Weaver's character is like, man, we used to be out here every day. He'd make me dig holes.
Even on Christmas.
Yeah, and they start digging and all this stuff, and you hear, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. And he just comes back, well, this dude ain't bad. You keep digging. And she's all, excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me.
Dude,
He's all, you'll thank me one day.
it's a classic
You'll
scene.
you'll thank me. It's
Yeah.
so funny, man.
It's so funny.
No, when you guys are making fun of me, I always say, I'm tired of digging.
It's too damn bad.
It's so funny, man.
Yeah, that's our inside joke we go to.
Yeah. But if we have no
That's
other
the sense
favorite
of the
scenes, I
movie.
think that's holes.
That's it.
Yeah,
Alright.
and that's how the Zeronis and the Yelnats ended up being neighbors.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get into some best quotes.
Sure.
I got 4.
Why don't you start us?
The first one I got is, excuse me.
Okay.
Classic.
Yeah, it's a repeated line.
That's her. I mean,
It's even used against her at the end.
yeah, which
Yeah.
I
Which
thought was
it's,
good.
It's very satisfying.
Because he
Whenever
says
she's
it to
like,
her.
please, let me see what's inside, please. And he goes, excuse me?
You don't get the satisfaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of mine is Mr. Sir's and the philosophy of Camp Green Lake. He says, you take a bad boy, you make him dig holes all day in the hot sun, and it turns him into a good boy. That's the philosophy at Camp Green Lake. And then he just
Yeah.
goes, start digging.
Yeah. It's funny. My first one is, I can fix that.
I have that one too. But my next one is from Mr. Sir, and he goes, "You Girl Scouts want to hear a story? Once upon a time, there was a magical place where it never rained." The end.
Yeah, and he goes, he makes himself laugh so hard.
He thinks it's the funniest
It's
thing
so
ever.
funny.
It's so funny, man.
Everyone is all, I don't get it.
I'm dead that you went like that.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. My next one is obviously you and your family will be cursed for always and eternity.
Dude, I laughed so hard at that cut. Whenever she's doing
She's straight up
she's
going-
doing the curse, and then immediately after, he goes,
Yes, yes.
I started dying, dude.
Yes.
At the cut, man. It was so funny.
And it's like it's her kind of fading in and out several times, and she's going, ah.
yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's a classic.
My second and last one is, of course, I'm tired of this, Grandpa. This dude ain't bad.
Yeah.
My last one is kind of a sad one. And it's a conversation between Magnet, X-Ray, and Squid. Magnet goes, maybe he found Zero. Maybe it's still alive. Yeah, maybe the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy are still alive. And Squid goes, this is sad. It's so sad. Yeah, maybe my mom will stop drinking and my dad will come back.
He's saying like stuff that'll never happen. Oh, jeez.
And Twitch says, man, when K-Man stole that truck, woo, that was awesome. And I was just, when I heard that maybe my mom will stop drinking and my dad will come back, I was just like,
Dude,
bro, that's rough.
I started laughing at that part.
No,
I did.
felt bad.
I started laughing at that part because everyone was kind of being like
funny about it.
funny and on the nose, and then he took it down to such a dark place.
Yeah.
And my immediate reaction, I was watching with Alexa. I was like, all right, dude. Like, I was like,
Buzzkill.
It is so dark, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then we started laughing after.
that was my last one because I was just like, why do you gotta say that, dude?
Oh, what about the wholesome one where Stanley is leaving in the car and Theodore comes up to him or armpit and he goes, "Tay, you know, you gotta
He
tell
says,
my mama.
Call my mom. Tell her I'm sorry.
yeah, and
Theodore,
tell her
sorry.
Theodore's sorry."
Yeah,
And it just,
I like
That's
that.
a
It's very
wholesome because the
heartwarming.
whole movie he says it's armpit.
I'm not Theodore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene as well. It shows that, you know, on the exterior he's, you know,
He's
very
hard.
very hard guy, but when you really get down to the core of it,
Yeah.
he's just a big old teddy bear.
Even when too, he gets the fossils
He's
and
all,
he goes,
look at the little fish.
he's soft on the inside.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
Yeah. All right,
Bro,
that's-
what about? I think I look kind of purty,
oh,
don't you?
whatever. Yeah, dude, he straight up accosts.
Dude, he straight up
Squid,
gets him
doesn't he?
just-
He's all, you see something wrong with my face?
Oh yeah.
I think I look kind of purty, don't you?
Shoves him on the
They're all,
floor.
yes, Mr. Sir. Dude, also,
I'm just reading quotes right now.
dude, isn't it crazy that Cody Ko is in this movie?
No,
No,
have you seen about Twitch?
no.
It's-
The guy with the long hair that pushes Caveman.
Oh
Dude,
my god!
I remember I laughed so hard because I was like, dude, that guy looks like Cody Ko.
What's his name though?
I have no. I don't think he has a name.
He has a name because they said don't mess with him.
Yeah. Oh no.
It
No.
was right
they-
before. No, it was right
No.
before they said nobody messes with Caveman.
Yeah. and
Yes, it's that guy. I'm trying to think.
They don't say his name. They
No,
said they said nobody messes with the Caveman, and they refer to Stanley.
He's
as Caveman
credited,
after
I
that.
think, though. I remember reading his name being some weird.
But I remember just laughing at that because I was like, dude, he looks like Cody Ko.
Mm.
And he's all, dude, okay, where did Stanley get the gall to just retort back to that guy after he like pushes him and he's all, watch it, man. He's all, you watch it.
Yeah, I'm like, dude. And he's so like
He's all,
frail about it.
what'd you say to me? Pushes him.
Okay, the whole situation is so ridiculous, dude. He's reading the paper. No, it's the whole thing happens where like he falls over, and when he gets up, he like
He knocks the radio over.
knocks the radio and falls into him. Like he didn't even mean to start a fight.
Yeah.
I think it's Lump.
Oh, that's what I read. Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it?
lump.
Yeah, I
Dude.
think it's Lump.
Dude, he looks like Cody Ko.
I'm trying to click at it because his real name is Stephen Kowalski. Kozlowski? I don't know.
No idea.
Not sure. But it's a.
He's in
point.
Goodwill Hunting.
Is he?
That's what it says right here.
I don't know.
What?
I haven't done enough
He's dead?
research for that.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh. Rest in peace.
He was born 1977, passed away in 2007.
Wow.
Man.
Shoot.
All right.
Rest in peace.
I get. Was that all of our favorite quotes then?
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Dude,
We're
now,
so
now,
dark.
yeah, now we're turning it dark like
yeah.
Squid,
No, I'm
man.
just trying to move on, dude. Dang.
I didn't
Pour
mean
one
to-
out for lump, man.
I didn't mean to read it. I mean, I did mean to read it, but I just didn't mean
You
to
got me
write.
dying. Oh man.
All right, let's get into bro moments. then.
Sorry.
All right, so my first bro moment that we haven't talked about. Stanley Yelnats III has a foot fetish, bro.
Dude,
all,
the cops walk
he's
in.
all, could I perhaps smell your shoe? Could I
You know
take
what he-
your
you
shoe?
know what he
I was
reminds
all,
me of?
dude,
He reminds me of SLVS, SOS sound.
SLV sounds.
Yeah.
He goes, brother.
Oh yeah.
How you doing? in. Let me.
He's let me
Let me
rub.
smell. Dude, when the cops walk in and he goes, "Hey, let me smell your shoes. Let me get those shoes."
Such a weirdo, man.
He's a freak, and his whole house is covered in like weird gadgets.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
hilarious.
Yeah.
You guys got any bro moments?
I talked about the one just burning down the school. My second one was killing Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My
it is a big one.
That's a huge one for me because I just didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it surprises me still because it's just like, bruh,
Mm-hmm.
like he didn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of I lump them all together as Zero being like the silent protector of Stanley.
Dude picks up the
He grabs
freaking
that pool ball.
Yeah, the pool ball. He's about a deck lump. I love that scene, and then I love the other scene too, where Zigzag is messing with him, and he actually like gets a good hit on Stanley, and then Zero comes up and just chokes him out, dude.
Dude, he is like
Yeah.
got a good grip on him.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
bro, this kid is gonna kill Zigzag right now. It was crazy.
Yeah. My next one is, well, we've kind of already talked about how messed up it was, Mr. Pendansky capping on Zero for no reason, but it was a big bro moment for me because I was just like, what has he done? He's done nothing, like literally nothing. He digs his hole. He says nothing. He doesn't talk. He doesn't like bother anybody, and you have this like vendetta
Yeah.
against him for no reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he doesn't talk and wants him to open up.
But even so,
Even so, yeah.
accosting him does not want to make a kid do anything he's being told.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Dude, imagine just chilling on your bed and just seeing it. You look over and you see a scorpion.
Yeah, I'd freak out.
Dude, there's a weird fact about that where
Yeah,
there's
I
like
saw
a,
it.
I was
I
like,
saw
read that.
they tried their hardest to make it look authentic.
Yeah.
Because
Dude,
there's a guy
there's no
pulling
way-
the tail, making it and blowing it, making it move. I was
Yeah.
like,
There's no way a scorpion's just
It's
gonna.
all.
yeah, I was like, okay.
And it even looks like it like post up with him just.
Makes him flinch. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. My next one is whenever Zero confesses to Stanley that he slept in the tube that at the Laney Park that Stanley used to play in, and it kind of sucks because it draws these two parallels where like Stanley's like he's like
the park.
yeah, Stanley is like, dude, I have such great memories at that park, dude, I love that park, and then Zero's like, oh yeah, you remember the swinging bridge and the tunnel next to the swinging bridge? And he's all, yeah,
I used
all-
to sleep there.
I used to sleep in that tunnel.
Bruh.
And he's all, oh
Immediately, you're like, oh,
yeah,
had a tough life
yeah, seriously.
for sure. We've talked about the rest of mine.
Okay. I believe we've talked about Zero stealing finding out that he's the one that stole the shoes as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So. All right, that's it for bro moments for me.
That's it for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into some facts then.
Yeah, I'll hit you with the budget. To make this movie, it took about $20 million to make it. Opening weekend, it made $16.3 million.
Wow.
Wow.
Gross for U.S. and Canada was $67.4 million, and gross worldwide was $71.4 million.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It made a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, and it's still making money.
Disney
I
money
bet.
machine.
Yes, sir.
I think almost any Disney will make a movie. I feel like.
Mm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I have a fact that I was surprised by. The onions that Stanley and Zero eat towards the end of the movie are literally apples that are just wrapped.
Really?
They're apples.
That's crazy.
That's why they're just macking on them. Usually you would think, dude, onions are nasty.
yeah,
Like, there's
especially
no,
eating a raw one.
Yeah,
There's
a
no way
raw
you're
onion.
eating
I mean, they say they're the sweetest onions ever, but still, it's an onion, dude.
Yeah.
Well, what about the onions when you cook a carne asada?
I mean, it's the same thing. Oh, like a white onion,
Yeah,
But you
they
wouldn't just take an onion and go,
and just yeah, you're not Shrek, bro.
no, you're not
the
Shrek.
onions
They
when you
eat it
cut-
with the skin on it too.
Yeah.
Like they don't even peel it.
True.
I don't know. The onions
I
when
like
you
it,
cook a
yeah.
carne asada.
A raw onion, like in a salsa or in like a pico, is fine.
It's
But
good.
I'm not just taking a bite of a raw onion like an apple.
What-
Yeah.
How much do I got to pay to take one right now?
Right now, $1,000.
$1,000 to take a bite of an onion? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, bargain, man. Barter with me.
I got $5 calling your name. It's just a bite of an onion.
That's off screen, off camera.
No, I want it on camera.
My next one, which I thought was pretty wholesome actually. Sigourney Weaver wanted to be in this film because Holes is her daughter's favorite book,
Hmm.
which I thought was very cute.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I have one that in the warden's house there is a framed newspaper cutting the words Kate Barlow robs Chicago Pacific. Chicago Pacific is the name of the director Andrew Davis's company.
Oh.
It's a little plug in there.
Trying to give him a plug. All right.
You say Chicago?
Did I? Chicago Pacific?
Chicago. Yeah.
Chicago?
Tomato, right?
Yeah, same thing.
Potato, potato.
I just it stuck out to me because
Okay,
at my old job, I had a coworker who would like harass my boss because he would say Chicago.
Did
Instead
what
of-
did,
smack
what
on
did
him
I
for
say?
it?
What did I say?
You said Chicago,
Chicago? Well, I mean,
but it's my own
do
thing.
you say pecan or pecan?
Yeah, it's the same.
Pecan.
No,
How
pecan.
do you say crayon?
Crayon.
Crayon.
Yeah, see, I say crayon.
Crayon?
Crayon.
No.
It kind of depends. I'm flip floppy. I say,
Sounds
hey,
like
give me
you're
that crayon or give me that
sounds like-
crayon.
it sounds like you're saying crane without an E.
Or what about crown? When people say crown,
Crown?
Crown.
Okay.
How do
I-
I
like
say that?
they call
What-
a coloring
Oh,
crayon.
give me that
a
crown?
Hey, hand me that crown.
No.
Now, you know what he dogs on me all the time? When I say volume.
Volume.
Volume. Wait, how do you say it?
Volume.
That's how you say it though.
No.
Volume. Like, oh, turn up the volume.
Why would no? You would dog on me for saying volume. No,
Volume?
I used to say volume. That's
Oh.
what I used to say, and he would be like, "Bro, shut up." He would no. We would hang out at his house and watch a movie, and I'd be like, "Hey, turn it up. Turn up the volume." He'd be like, "Shut up. It's volume."
It's volume, bro. Oh, volume.
I used to say milk.
No, we're gonna pull it up to grow in?
Oh, dude.
Dude,
I never knew how to say growing.
groin.
groin.
I said growing.
And
I
he
said
said
growing.
Growing.
and I dogged on him for that.
You just
That reminds
dog on
me,
me for everything.
My mom, she does not say electricity.
What did
She
you say?
leaves off the E.
Electricity?
She says electricity.
No.
Saving time, I guess.
We dog on her for it.
Electricity.
Yeah. And like we'll
Want to
mess
turn on the
around like
electricity?
yeah, like we'll mess around like whenever the power's out and be like, oh man, electric's out. I'm gonna go fix that with whatever's going on out there. Yeah, it's funny, man.
Oh man.
But all right, so I got another fact here in regards to the screenplay of this film.
Okay.
So originally, the screenplay was written by somebody named Richard Kelly, who greatly departed from the source material by writing a dark, violent adaptation of the story set in a post-apocalyptic world.
Whoa.
Jeez.
What is this? Mad Max.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, right?
But the studio had reportedly found the script far too disturbing for a children's movie, and they rejected it in favor of the final script by the novel's author, Louis Sakar.
Okay.
I kind of want to know now.
Yeah, I want to see that darker movie. See
Yeah.
what they would do with it.
Yeah. Especially
Dystopian.
post-apocalyptic.
I know. I imagine it'd be like, we gotta find the chest to get the cure and stuff like that, or something dumb, you know.
I immediately think of like robots running the camp and then being like, you are to dig your hole
What is
5
this?
feet in
Fallout?
width, 5 feet in diameter.
Straight
blah,
up
blah, blah.
yeah, Fallout.
Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. I have a crazy one. I would change the entire movie, man. Frankie Muniz was originally cast as Stanley.
I had that.
Malcolm in the
No.
Middle.
Dude, Frankie Muniz. Can you imagine Agent Cody Banks?
Dude.
No, freaking big fat liar.
Yes, dude. He was big.
He was big.
He
yeah.
was big at the time. So
Agent
he
Cody
was,
Banks.
He was in everything.
Yeah.
Asian dude, what's it called? I think it's called it's a movie when he drives freaking goat carts under this semi truck, and it's like
That's got to be Agent Cody Banks. That sounds like a.
no. It wasn't Agent Cody Banks. It was him. Josh Peck's in it,
I have no idea.
bro.
I used to love Big Fat Liar.
I
Like-
want to watch Big Fat Liar
I-
again just because I haven't seen it in probably like 5 years.
I loved Big Fat Liar as a kid. I thought it was such a fun movie.
Mm.
And I loved the whole like, dude, them living in the studio, like the Hollywood studio. They have like they get to just like play with all these like Hollywood props and dress up and stuff. And everything. I was like, dude, that looks fun. Like I would love that.
Mm.
I also always laughed at the part in Big Fat Liar whenever the driver catches onto their lie and they're talking about how they want to make the director Paul Giamatti fail. And the driver is like, okay, I want to do that too, but he's like interrupting them whenever they're talking, and he's all, oh wait a minute, the car won't start, and they're like, listen, I would die laughing at that.
Dude, that's old school.
So funny.
Yeah, I love Frankie Muniz. I love Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a great actor, but it would have completely changed
Oh,
this
it would.
movie.
Yeah, seriously, man.
I think Shia LaBeouf was perfect cast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
All right. I have one more.
I have two more.
I have one more as well.
Okay. My last one is the actual author of the novel, Louis Sakar. He appears in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, he plays the bald guy that Sam gives the ointment to
Oh, he does.
grow hair, and the lady that he tells, rub this on his head 3 times. That's his wife, and then
Oh,
their
shit.
little girl, that's their actual daughter as well.
What the heck? Whole family up
Heck
there.
yeah.
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I
His one line is my head. Whenever he tells him like, let me see your head.
My head.
My head.
Nice.
I only got 2, and I thought because I put these down because I thought they were very interesting. So the yellow spotted lizard mentioned in the movie actually do not exist. There are only 2 venomous lizards in North America. It's the Gila monster and the Mexican bearded lizard, which live in the American Southwest and northern Mexico.
Nice. Yeah, there's another fact too where they like put non-toxic
Yeah, I think they put like non-toxic
finger paint.
finger
Yeah.
paint to get the yellow spots on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're just straight up bearded dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And,
And
I think
then-
they had like 9 of them actually
on standby.
yeah, on standby, and the rest were CG, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll do my last fact here. I just thought I love kind of these like put into realistic facts. But if Stanley is expected to dig a hole each day, as Mr. Sir had said, for 18 months, which was his sentence, the total number of holes dug would be an estimate 547 holes.
That's a lot.
Just for one kid.
Just for
And there's
one.
like at least 20 other kids there.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
digging holes, man. Tens of
Well,
thousands
it's
of
called holes for a reason.
What I
saying.
want to know is, whenever, like, in the grand scheme of things, if the warden had eventually, like, gone that whole time without ever finding anything about, Kiskate Barlow or the loot or anything like that, like, when would she have run out of room for them to be like, okay, yeah, we dug holes everywhere, can't find anything. What do? You fill them back in and then make them dig them again?
No, I think they would go until it's all done and then that she would stop
Mm.
because there would be no treasure. Or
Okay.
That's my thought about it because, we get the whole scene of Kissing Kate Barlow saying, "Oh, this lake stretches for miles."
Or
You're
she
gonna-
even places a curse on them.
She does, yeah.
Yeah, and she said, your children and your children's
Children's
children will never find my loot or something like
Yeah.
that.
So that just makes me think that Sigourney Weaver's character would just have a kid and do the same thing that her grandpa did to her, just continue to generational.
tired of digging, Grandma.
Yeah, exactly.
My last fact, and I only put this down because I thought it was interesting. I'm a car person. I like cars. So the car that the warden drives is a 1958 Chrysler Saratoga. The car does not have a gear shift to change gears. Instead, it has push buttons to change from drive, reverse, park, etc.
Wow.
Which is very ahead of its time.
Buttons.
Button.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because now cars have like dials and buttons,
Yeah.
but it's like you don't hear of another car with buttons
Mhm.
until like this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty cool that a 1958 car has that.
Pretty
That's pretty
sweet,
cool.
man.
So that's it for the facts. What didn't work for you guys?
X-ray.
X-ray didn't work.
No, in context of the movie, he's great.
He does. He's in opposition
Yeah.
to our main character, which gives us, more reason to root for Stanley.
Yeah.
That if you, I mean, it kind of leads into one of my things.
Go ahead.
I think that the majority of the characters have the most bare bone development.
Yeah.
And in regards to X-Ray, he literally his one trait is he's the head honcho.
Yeah.
And they all get this kind of bare bone, just enough for you to care about him, but like they don't really feel fleshed out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's literally just Stanley and Zero are the
Yeah.
fleshed out characters.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's sad to say because I did like this movie watching it again, but it's like I didn't care about the other characters,
Yeah.
Mm.
and I feel like this movie tried to get you to care for those characters because obviously they're in the same tent and like you get conversations with them, and like you said, I'm gonna piggyback off of you. Is they got
It's bare,
bare
bone.
bone.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no meat.
Yeah. I want to know why they named Theodore after the fat chipmunk from Alvin and the Chipmunks, who is also named Theodore.
They didn't. Nah, Alvin and the Chipmunks came out way after.
Theodorian.
Alvin and the Chipmunks is a cartoon from like the 70s.
Yeah. It's
You cannot say that, bro. Not the movie.
you're talking about the live action movies.
No, like the cartoons and all that stuff. That was around when my parents were young.
Old school. I don't know.
1958.
Is that something that didn't work for you?
No, that's just something that I wanted to bring up.
1958.
But something that did work for me, obviously I think doesn't work for all of us, is the CGI.
CGI is terrible.
CGI
It's
is
so
very
outdated.
bad.
It's so bad.
So bad.
And it sucks because like I see movies that came out around this time that like opted for like like real effects or like puppeteering or makeup or something like that, and then movies that opted for like CGI because it was the new technology at the time, and it sucks. Like the real effects and the makeup and everything wins every time
Mm-hmm.
versus the CGI,
Yeah.
and it kind of falls flat here.
You didn't have to CGI them up like 1,000 feet high.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The stakes would have been even. Like, it would have been the exact same if they were maybe 20 feet. Like, you'd still die falling from. I mean, the way they frame it, dude, it's like they're.
it makes it look like they're like 500 feet in the air.
Seriously, like on the Grand Canyon looking down is
Yeah.
what it looks like. You don't
Yeah.
got to do that, especially if you can't pull off the special effects.
yeah.
Because when he slips, it falls back.
It's almost like the background doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
Like it's like a it's like a static image, but the camera moves around it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
yeah, doesn't work.
I just want to take back a statement. Was the movie that I was thinking of does not have Frankie Muniz in it? It's called Catch That Kid. It's with Kristen Stewart, Corbin Blue.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about now?
There's like a he's like a brunette kid, short, right?
Yeah, his
And there's like an ice cream truck in it for some reason. I'm
Um,
thinking of. I remember liking that movie too.
his
Yeah,
his
no
name is Max.
Feeble? Max Feeble?
No. Mac. The actual actor's name is Max, Thier.
I don't know.
Thier?
It's the brother from Bates Motel, not Norman Bates, but the brother.
Oh, okay.
He's the character. He's
blonde
the
guy?
Yes, that's the movie. And I looked at it back and it was struggling, but it's not Frankie Muniz or Josh Peck. It's Kristen Stewart and Corbin Blue and
You're-
that guy.
What a mix
You're
up.
tripping.
I was.
All right. There's
Max
another
Feeble's Big Move is a good movie though.
dude, Max Feeble.
I've got
I
one more that I don't understand why they did it.
Okay, let's do it.
Why? What was the point of having Stanley see like the ghosts of the past? What was that?
I
When
don't
going
know.
to the when going to Camp Kingsley,
Yeah, and he sees Sam.
and
I
he
don't
looks
know.
back.
I don't know why they decide to like.
What is all that all about?
I don't know. Like, does he have a sixth sense?
That's what I'm saying. Or I don't understand. Are they trying to say that there's real?
There's like mysticism about the
Yeah.
place or something.
Because he straight up sees him and he's following him.
Yeah.
So it's not like he just catches a glance of like dust that flies up. No, he literally sees Sam and his horse.
Yeah.
And I was just questioning. Whenever I saw it, I was like,
Maybe it would be a little more worth it if they like
why?
brought that up multiple times in the movie.
Why?
Like if he like saw like other people.
What if he
From
saw
the
Sam?
town.
What if he saw Sam again on Mary Lou?
Yeah.
Or like I'm even
Or
thinking
Like
like
things like that.
like what if he saw like Trout or like Kissing Kate Barlow or something
when
like
he
that,
when
you
he
know?
picked up the lipstick or
It
something?
would
Yeah.
kind of help too to help him like build what kind of happened because he picks up that thing and it says KB on it. He doesn't really know, and the only way he connects it all is when he goes to the wardens and he sees Kate Barlow's papers and he
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, I think that was Kate Barlow."
Oh, and then he could say like or picture that she's putting on the lipstick, and
Yeah,
then
you-
realizes that it's hers.
it would be it's just would be a weird way to justify him literally seeing ghosts. Is he like a medium where he can be like, "I'm sensing Sam."
I'm sensing your.
He's saying that he can fix that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, have you ever seen the show Long Island Medium?
is it the blonde-haired lady?
The Karen lady.
Yes, of course. She's the.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of medium, I think of her.
Dude, me too.
Yeah.
And I specifically think of one short that I've seen on TLC. I don't hate on me for watching TLC, but it's in a grocery store, and she goes, "I'm sensing you lost a sister."
And they
And
always go,
they're like, "Oh my gosh, how'd you know?"
They always-
It's the big. It's like a novella, dude. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. I was questioning why they had done that.
Okay.
I really, and I'm gonna say, I know you guys probably won't agree with me, but the music in this, I like wanted to pass everything with music, because I just didn't see, like, when we get the flashback of Kissing Kate Barlow stealing all those things, and
and
hear
you
all
didn't
that
hear
music,
the I will survive.
I just want to skip that. I just
I think it's funny
It's a
whenever that
love-hate
whole
thing.
sequence is going, they like intercut old black and white movies. No, like I think like there's a scene where they intercut like an old black and white
do?
film that is not. It's not Holes, dude. It's like some old, like 3 old white guys in black and white, and they're looking at this thing that says bank, and they're all. And it's like a 3-second clip, and then they cut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, and it's just like I wanted to skip those parts because I just like I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, it's a love-hate for me because I love the songs now. Just thinking
Yeah.
of the "Don't give up, never give up," you know,
Or the, what does it say? The
Sometime.
sometime.
Sometime. Yeah. They ingrained into my mind, but it really is a Disney move where it's just like you kind of have this serious movie, and then it's undercut by the whole like,
Dig it up, dig it.
Yeah.
Dig it up, yeah.
And I get maybe the intro and the outro having a song like that, but you know, whenever
What,
it's an
playing
important
a-
scene, they got to throw music. You know what I
Playing
mean?
a
It
Mary
kinda,
J. Blige song at the end of it.
Yeah.
they got to do it.
Yeah.
it.
There's something that didn't work for me, and it's the 2000s slow-mo frame, like
Oh.
like
They do
it all
low,
the time.
low frame rate, where like
They do
like,
it all the
like when he's
freaking
walking
time.
through the desert and it's all, and you see it's such low frame rate.
Yes. Or it's like when someone does something mean to Stanley, and it'll like zoom slow on him, and it's like,
and it's
that-
and the music's all.
yeah. They do it all the freaking time, dude. It's almost like has like this premonition power that he's like
Yeah.
cursing them as he's looking at them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It seems like a power he has.
Yeah. He does the same thing whenever he sees Sam, like it does that slow mo, like low frame rate shot.
It does.
Yeah,
It's just like
it's so 2000s.
It is.
It's so 2000s.
it's so like it reminds me of Baywatch
Okay.
when they're running, or the
But
David
even-
Hasselhoff from SpongeBob movie. Dun, dun,
But
dun,
even like
dun,
Baywatch and like stuff like that, like their slow mo was a lot more
Smooth.
fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when you have slower frame rates or slower motion, you could have higher frame rates.
Yeah, but with their slow mo is low frame rate, so it looks all
It's terrible, dude. Like, I
like
don't know
bad
what-
stop motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another thing that I thought was kind of strange, I never really thought about this before until we started recording, actually. So the whole plot line of like Hector stealing the shoes and throwing them over and then hitting Stanley in the head with them. Stanley, we get to assume that like they should have gotten sent to Camp Green Lake around the same time.
Yeah, and Stanley
Right.
and
Yeah, 'cause he
Zero's
says-
there already.
Yeah.
He says the next day he got caught
He-
for stealing a pair of shoes at Payless.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Well-
but so then my question is like if they get sent there like around the same time, how like is Zero already so accustomed to everything and like becomes like a household name, but then when Stanley gets there they're like, "Oh, new kid."
You know, I can assume that going through court maybe takes a while.
Yeah, 'cause I was about to say that
Okay.
you would have to think that stealing Sweet Beat's shoes because he's a big deal. It would take a lot of court.
And
process.
yeah, they did a few court.
Yeah, I mean they did show like Sweet
They
Feet
did
being
show.
all, "You're no fan of mine."
I know. He's like, none of my
And
fans would
he
do
like
that.
he straight up just like the camera's like right here and he's right here.
Should gets in the camera.
Yeah.
Fan of mine.
I love
Yeah.
it too because right when he says that, it's cut with Stanley sitting on his bed and it's
And
the
it's
poster
and it's
side.
zoomed in.
He's
And I'm
all-
like,
looking with the Clyde Lewis
yeah, I'm like,
signature on the back.
I'm
So
like, oh,
funny.
he wrecked him right now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're no fan of mine.
All right. Well, if that's it for what did work, what did work or what didn't work, what did work in this movie?
I enjoyed myself, dude.
Yeah,
I
it's,
watched
it's,
it.
it's a
always
fun
do.
watch.
I
I
always
watched
do.
it and I was like, I like liked it.
Yeah, it's a
Still.
fun. It's a fun.
It's a fun
film.
watch.
Yeah. I enjoy it. I mean, I think, like I said at the beginning, the story is deceptively simple.
Yes.
It starts off with a kid getting falsely accused and going and digging holes. And that's literally how they start it, where it's you're digging to build character and that's it. But they give you all this other context of generation stuff and how that all ties into where he's at now and how it kind of is unraveling as the story goes on.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot more creative than I think we give it credit for.
Oh yeah.
I
most
almost
definitely.
feel like you could have made 3 movies out of this.
Oh yeah. You
Yeah,
can do
I-
a whole Kate Barlow movie.
That's what I'm saying.
I-
You can
could
do
do
the
a
whole Kate
whole
Barlow.
Elia movie.
I'd even read that the author made a sequel to Holes
Did
Yeah,
he?
I
called
did.
Stepping Stones or something like that.
But it was gonna focus on like
it focuses on Armpit.
on armpit and a little bit
Oh.
of X-ray.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the story. I think that's what I always come back to, and I always feel satisfied that all of these seemingly random like flashbacks are all coming together and cohesive in the present time,
Mhm.
and how that kind of satisfies itself at the end. I really did enjoy.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I think this movie, I've kind of already said this, but I think it has pretty good writing.
Yes.
For this being a children's film, like it is pretty intricate, and it doesn't leave too many like plot holes.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always an answer to a question. Like, why weren't these guys getting bit by the lizards?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were eating the onions. Oh man, what's all this? Peaches and onions. Why is that a thing? And then we find out, that also is the cure to foot odor.
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of things that get brought up in the movie through writing that later get answered.
Mm-hmm.
That we find out are problems throughout the film, and that's the I guess you could say the consequence, for lack of a better term, of good writing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, and they leave you room to find it,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what I love.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm trying to think, cause it's kind of hard. Cause we went straight into recording after I finished this movie, so I didn't have time to like process it.
Then digest. I
Yeah.
don't know. Well, what did you feel about actors and their performances?
I thought the performances were fine. If I saw Frankie Muniz in this, I think I'd laugh. Like
Yeah.
he's just I
Him
think he's a
doing
meme.
Him doing the Malcolm in the Middle face.
Yep.
Yeah. I think this movie has a great cast.
I do too.
I think so.
I think the cast plays off well they play off of each other very well.
Yeah.
You know what I did like? I liked Stanley's parents.
Okay.
I thought dude, there's
I
one
don't
si-
smell anything.
No, listen,
I don't smell
that,
anything.
I want to talk about that scene now.
It's so
Because-
funny, dude.
Because he gets the shoe and is like, smell this. She goes, I don't smell
Well, and
nothing.
it's a complete accident too. It just slides off into the water, and then he goes to smell it, and he goes,
peaches
and
and
he goes-
onions.
"Yeah."
He's all,
But no,
I've
dude,
asked you a
the way
million
that
times.
the way
Here's a million and one more
the
time.
way
Try
that she
it.
does, like she looks at him, I'm like, bro, she's about to do something to him. Like
She's a ride or die.
Yes, she is,
she
dude.
was like, she was like, oh,
She's about to
like,
grant his foot fetish. She's got to slap him around with his feet a little bit.
Straight up go.
literally, she was gonna do something because she goes, I don't smell anything. And the way she takes off her sunglasses, I'm just like, bro, get a room already. Like,
That's funny. And then Grandpa's all
yeah.
just on the side.
No, but I think his parents were like pretty cool. I thought they were cool parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, that falls under the cast.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. They work together pretty good.
Yeah.
They all kind of jive with each other, and
I don't smell anything.
I don't smell. Yeah, and I think some of the comedy. Okay, here's how I'll phrase it. The comedy that they wanted to be comedy for me kind of didn't really work.
But stuff don't
But stuff that like is not supposed to be comedy
I
is
wish
stuff
my
that
mom would
works
stop drinking.
so
My dad
well
would
for
come
me. You know what I mean?
back.
It's infinitely rewatchable, and it's infinitely like, this is my childhood. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's those kind of humorous moments or stuff that sticks with me.
I think if I ever have kids, I'm gonna show them this movie.
Oh, for
Oh, yeah.
sure, dude.
Yeah. I think that there's something. Maybe I could have said this in the what didn't work category, but I think I really like the second half of this movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The second half of this movie, whenever Zero takes off, is like that's the
picks
part. That's the part where I'm like, all right, I'm in this, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see these guys' journey, But I really enjoy. I guess I could say that this movie has fairly good pacing.
Because I was
Like
about to say,
it sets its characters and story and setting up fairly well, and shows us, like we said, like all this background information and all that stuff, and it just builds and builds and builds and
For
builds.
sure.
Because I wouldn't say it's like we said, the second half picks up quite a bit, but I wouldn't say the first half is necessarily slow. If
Well,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think
It's
for me,
I
like
think it's at its own pace. Like it's. I mean, obviously every movie is at its own pace, but I feel like Holes, like the way they showed it, worked perfectly.
yeah.
And then when it picked up on the second half, it just still works out even more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
If that makes sense.
Yeah, the first half was definitely foundational.
yeah,
When you gotta meet
Which is
all
essential.
the characters, all the camp, what it's all about, and all that stuff. So I do agree. It picks up. That second half is just
Yeah.
you ride the wave
Mhm.
of it, which I loved. And you know what? I think a little bit of what didn't work. It kind of falls into the whole, it's a Disney film, kids film, all that stuff. But I think just the main context. I just think the story, they really elevated it, man.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what I always come back to is it's just the story itself and how complex it weaves itself together. I think is just awesome.
All right. Anything else for what did work?
I think we hit them all.
Okay.
Some of the cinematography I think is nice.
Okay.
Like especially when we get that scene where the camera is kind of top down and all you see is just like 100,000 holes, and it kind of zooms up and you just see the camp right in the middle surrounded by holes. I'm like,
Mhm.
this is creative. This is
Yeah.
a really interesting world that they've built here.
Yeah.
And the way that they decide to show it, I think, is awesome.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it for me.
That's it for me as well.
All right. Who wins this movie?
I say Shia LaBeouf.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Shia
feel the
LaBeouf.
same.
There's no way you can. It's Sam.
Stanley Yelnats, man.
Okay. All right. What are some themes for this? I have just essentially just destiny.
Yeah, Destiny.
This movie, hits on that theme very hard. I mean,
Mhm.
even one of the characters even says it.
yeah.
Straight-
Destiny.
Yeah.
It's like that Thanos quote, run from it, hide from it, but
I'm inevitable.
yeah, I am inevitable, exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely think, and even generational stuff too. Like one person with one decision 4 generations ago affects 2 families in
Yeah.
incredibly difficult ways.
Mhm.
I think is something to think about too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Anything else?
that's it for me.
That's it for me.
All right. What are we rating this?
This is where I fall into a conundrum because I had made my list, and then I had put 1 through 10, obviously, and then I put an 11, and that's kind of like the movies that, like, I don't even want to rate. Like the 11s are like these are
Those are your babies.
these are my cornerstones.
Okay.
These are what I turn to when I'm depressed. These are what I turn to when like my life is in disarray. This is something I can grab and will always have a great time.
Mm.
So in one hand, I classify this as an 11,
Mhm.
but in another hand, I can see some of the downfalls, and I would give it like an 8 or
Okay.
a 7,
I
Okay.
gave it a 7.5.
7.5. Okay,
I'm giving this one a 7.
okay.
It's a great watch.
It's
It's a fun one. You're gonna have a good time, and if you've seen Holes, you kind of know what's gonna happen, and I mean, I feel like we fall into the rut of having nostalgia
yeah.
play a part in it because we watched this growing up as
For
kids. So rewatching this movie a ton as kids, and anytime it's on the TV, flip into it, and at any point
I feel like
in
you
the
can
film
watch
you'd
it,
just
yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I'll just put this on. I'm comfortable with this. So I think for that I'd give it a 7.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for the episode, you guys. So if you did stick with us all the way to the end, we would appreciate it if you leave us the likes, the subscribes, and the bell notifications to let you guys know whenever you do get a new upload on YouTube. If you are listening to us on audio, leave us a rate and review. It does help the show and lets us know that you guys are liking what we're doing. Or if you want us to try to change something up, the rate and review is there to do so, as well as the comments and stuff like that on YouTube and all that stuff. It's been really cool seeing everybody interacting with the content and people asking us to do more of a certain director, do certain movies, getting suggestions and all that stuff. It really does help out. And if you guys do want to do suggestions or just contact us or leave us an email or something like that, all of our methods of contact are in every episode description. We got a Instagram, we've got an email you can send us emails at. We've got our Letterboxd account, so you can follow us there and interact with us on Letterboxd as well. But yeah, I think that's about it, you guys.
Yeah.
So I think
Next step is
it's my pick, right?
you, sir.
All
That's
right.
my pick. What the heck? Didn't skip me?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's mine.
Nah, I think it's mine.
Doesn't it do this? Because
Yeah.
we did. What did we do last week?
We did Taxi Driver last week.
Oh, we
Oh,
did.
we did,
Taxi
huh?
Driver, Holes,
Oh, we
and now we've
did.
got
Man,
Abraham. AB baby, what have you got for us?
I don't even want to say it anymore.
What is it?
You were just excited for your pick.
I think it was because the note was like this. So mine was
you
on
just
top.
didn't scroll.
So mine was on
Okay.
top. I didn't scroll up.
You're valued, Abraham,
Sure.
and I'm
What
ready
is
for
it?
your
Nah, I'm
movie.
joking.
In fact, if I'm, go ahead and say it.
What?
No, I don't think I've seen this movie.
I haven't either.
Okay, let's hear it.
But so the movie that I'm choosing is the 1995 movie Dead Man.
Okay.
I know nothing about it.
Okay, me
Nothing.
either.
Nothing.
Do
I
you know if
nothing.
it's streaming anywhere?
I do not. Let me check.
Dead Man.
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Okay.
Do you even know the director? Anything like that?
I'm on the IMDb. It's by Jim Jarmusch. I don't know how to say it.
It has Johnny Depp in it?
It's Johnny Depp. Yeah,
I think the only thing I know is it's black and white.
it's a black and white film.
And
I've
it's a
heard,
Western.
Adventure drama fantasy is the
I've
the
heard
title.
a little bit of comparison to it as No Country for Old Men.
Oh.
That's a high. That's very high.
I've heard a little comparison to that. So I don't know if it's true or not.
That's a
'cause I've
big
never
comparison.
That's interesting, and it's
You shouldn't
gonna-
have told me that because now I'm going to compare it to that. And be like, dude, it's nothing like that.
Gosh, 1995, Johnny Depp. He looks young,
Young.
Yeah.
very young, like in the realm of What's Eating Gilbert Grape young.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
All right.
I'm excited to do it. I saw it on IMDb and I'm ready for it.
Sweet,
right.
yeah.
Well, this is one that we've all never seen, so it'll be interesting to go into this with fresh eyes. So tune in next week to hear what we think about the film Dead Man. As always, this has been the Film Bros Podcast. Thank you, and good night.
Night.
Good night.